even after a year and a half of working on this, consistently, day in and day out, I still spiral. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're wonderful, crazy, tumultuous spirals. So, but as far as what's next, my hope is to continue growing my practice, um, keep expanding my impact, and just get myself to a point where my office is not only just a place where people come to get to feel better, but it's a place where community can occur as well. I do want to set up my office as a space for the community.
Hi, welcome to Say More Words, a podcast that was created to emphasize the human experience through stories. I hope that you come here to learn, to expand, and most importantly, learn how to say more words. Speak your story, speak your truth, boo boo. We're so happy you're here. Okay. Hey, y'all, welcome back. I am so excited that you are here. I am so excited to bring back a guest from season 1 into season 2, Dr. Alika McGuire. Before we do kind of a quick recap on him, Dr. Alika, what is the song of the day?
Today's song of the day is a throwback to the 90s, Dooa Diddy by Zapp and Roger. If you haven't heard
Yes.
it, it's a bop. It's your favorite, now your new favorite Friday song. So go
I
for it.
love that. I love that. Okay, Dr. Alika. So you are here in season 2 for what we're calling the success series. And I think one of the things that's so very important when we're sharing the stories of people is sharing the success story, but like kind of how they got there. Because especially when it comes to personal development, there's not many people who talk about their journey. It's just people just see like, oh, they popped up and like, oh, they're successful, they're doing these things, this is, oh, they're here in this space and oh, they're meditating and running and blah 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 blah, but they don't see the work that it takes to get there. And so if you could start off by, we know you're a chiropractor, and I will link Dr. Alika's first episode in so you can learn a little bit more about him. So the link will be included in the show notes along with all of the contact information to get a hold of him. But if you could tell us a little bit about like what we call pre-EC, right? So before you started working with the Evolution Collective, like where were you at? What were you seeking? What was your mindset like? What did that journey look like for you before you got here?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's a fun question. I was all over the place. I was literally all over the place. I was, you know, kind of kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out with this current coaching group that I was in. I didn't know where I wanted to be. I was in practice. I was my first year in my current office, looking to rebuild. Essentially, we had the move in the moving of my practice. Trying to do everything I can to play a bigger game because that's exactly what I signed up for. So I was diving myself into this coaching group, and I was in a space where I wasn't feeling good about myself because I was doing all of the things. I was saying all of the scripts. I was dressing the way that I was told to. I was doing everything. And I just didn't quite see the same successes that everyone else seemed to be having. So I was getting a lot of frustration
Mm,
in that. And it was frustrating because I really felt that I was doing all the things. Um, and even when I would go to seminars and boot camps, it would be reflected. All of the high performers and even the coach of the group was like, yeah, you're doing all the things. So I was really struggling with it because I just wasn't quite seeing the same results that everybody else was.
So when you say all the things, was it like all of the business things, all like I know in that environment too, it was like a lot of tracking. So what exactly was it that you were doing?
I mean, there's a lot of scripting involved. There's a lot of
Mm,
systems involved. I was implementing the systems as they were being taught. I was saying the scripts. I was dressing how they were. One of the things that was recommended was, they called it the chiropractic uniform, your white button-up shirt, your tie with the half Windsor knot, your black dress pants and the perfect shoes, and that is how you present yourself.
Mm,
Um, and that's, for those of you that know me, that's obviously not me. So
yeah.
um, I was in this group and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to play along. I'm going to do it this way. And then when I hit the successes, when the money is not that big of an issue, when the job, when chiropractic can become a hobby and it's no longer a necessity for to pay my bills, then I can be whoever I want to be. Um,
Mm,
and that was the dilemma that I was facing because I'm acting in a way that's not me, trying to get success in a way that I would probably never have achieved because I was acting in a way that was completely inauthentic.
mm, hmm. So let's talk a little bit about then. So it was November, I think. November, September, November,
Yeah.
September, October, November, fall of 2022 when you finally reached out to me. So since then, we've done a lot of work together. You know, you started with me at the beginning of 2023. We're now halfway through 2024. Tell me a little bit about, I think that inauthenticity was huge for you. You know, if I can say so, you could do all the scripts and do all the things, but when we live an inauthentic life, that's when things don't work out. And so, talk a little bit about what it was like then, moving into working with me. Like, what made you want to do it? What are the big changes that you saw in that space?
Yeah, absolutely. So what led me to start working with you was you were invited to a seminar. Um, it was at your husband, James Taylor's office.
Mm-hmm.
I logged in, I hopped in on Zoom and I watched the seminar, and you had a 10-minute platform where you spent it talking about the Enneagram. And we did this bullshit test, which was, I'm sure it was just like a quick Google search to get it. Now that I know about the Enneagram, and I think the first thing that you said is like, we're going to talk about the Enneagram, and we're going to start with the eights, because if we don't start with the eights, they're going to leave the room. And my test had said I was a six, and I was like, okay, whatever, cool. And then when you said that, and I was like, huh, something's off here.
Hmm. Because I definitely, if you don't start with me, I'm out.
Yeah. So I was like, and then you started talking, and then you started talking about the different Enneagram types, why they're important, what's going on. And I would remember thinking to myself, like, oh, this is kind of cool. You started talking about the love languages. You started talking about strengths finders, and you just kind of threw in these little tidbits, right? Um, I think afterwards we became friends on Facebook. You were throwing in a lot of little tidbits, and one thing, I remember sending you a friend request after the event, and I asked, you said something. I think you posted a meme or something like that, and it said like, um, "Motherfuckers who tell you to focus only on your weaknesses just want to keep you small." And I was
Mm,
like, huh. And I was like, I like her. So I was like, I like her. And then from there, I think after a period of time and thinking about it, and then, starting to think, what is my personality? Who am I? What do I want to be? What does this look like? Um, I just took the leap, and I think I texted you one day on
mm-hmm.
Messenger, and I said, I'm ready. I'm ready. Whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you like or that you do, I want it. What is it?
Yeah.
And it just went
What
from
is it? What
there.
does it mean?
Yeah.
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 I think one of the most interesting parts of working with business owners is exactly the way that your story started, right? Like we get business coaches, which business coaches are very important too. And I do a little bit of both, but when we have a business coach who only focuses on like look at your numbers, look at your scripts, look at it, we forget the humanness inside of our business.
Hmm.
And I think for you, the very big thing that was the authenticity. So let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about your authentic self. Let's talk about who you are and how that makes you successful.
Um, yeah. In talking about my authentic self, one of my favorite stories to tell is of a patient that used to, previous patient that would come into the office, and it was just funny. He had one of those big personalities, just those big, those people that you see them and they're like, I know this guy, I know this person. They just somehow seem to say they know everybody and they can get you anything and get anything done, but they don't,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell if they're lying, or if it's just
Yeah.
a big fish story. It's one of those guys. Um, there was one week I sat in the, I was in the office and or wasn't it I woke up one morning and I said I can't fucking do this today, and I went to the office. I wore, instead of my white shirt and tie with the slacks, I wore jeans, I wore tennis shoes, I wore a t-shirt, and that's what I felt like wearing. My hair was down, and I'm just floating, going through the day, and this guy comes in, and I'm bouncing from one room to the next, and he stops. He puts his hand up and he says stop. I look at him, I'm like, what's up? He goes, that's my chiropractor right there. And he said, you dress like that, you dress like that, that's who I want to see. I don't want to see the tie, I don't want to see the button, I don't want to see that. That's not you. I want to see this guy every day. And that's when I started to be like, okay, what does it mean to do this? And you know, going in, I started doing it more. I started allowing myself to be a lot more relaxed and all of that. And then I ended up, realizing that I sold more care plans and I closed more cases, than I ever did wearing a tie in the office. I felt relaxed and all of that. So, what does it mean to be authentically me? I think the best thing, I mean, we have the best description is, just the Hawaiian king. You know,
Yes.
for those of you listening, I've got brown skin, I've got tattoos. Um, I was born and raised in Hawaii. I have long hair, and I let all of it show. I wear Hawaiian shirts. I let my tattoos show. I wear jeans every day. You come into my office, you know that it's relaxed. You know that you're getting me, authentically me. And I look at you, and you know that while I'm still a doctor, I'm the cool guy that's still here to wants to take care of you.
Yeah. Well, and arguably, I know that changing the way that you what you wear doesn't necessarily change your adjusting technique, but it changes who you are as a doctor. Like it changed you being authentically you made you an even better chiropractor, which made people recommend you more. And it's just there is a calm about you when it comes to your practice that didn't exist before. And that calmness it's very Hawaiian Kingish. It's the person that will help save the village and care for the village and care for the people because that's who you are. And in your true self, you're very calm and caring and loud and fun and all of those things. And so I'm just really proud of you for embracing that aspect because when we embrace that part of ourselves, the universe provides always.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me, um, over the last, year and a half, we've been working on that. Now now that you're kind of in a groove, what does the next step look like for Alika?
Oh gosh.
No.
Well, I will say, throughout this journey, there's still plenty. There's always work. There's always work to be done. There's always more work to be done. And this, of course, you hit the next level or you hit the next stage in your personal development, and the next thing, you just end up digging another deeper hole. So even after a year and a half of working on this, consistently, day in and day out, I still spiral. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're wonderful, crazy, tumultuous spirals. So, but as far as what's next, my hope is to continue growing my practice, um, keep expanding my impact, and just get myself to a point where my office is not only just a place where people come to get to feel better, but it's a place where community can occur as well.
Mm.
I do want to set up my office as a space for the community, that I want to become somebody that's known within the St. Louis community, as someone that's there to help and provide and care for others. Lots of things that I do in my office, lots of donation drives, um, and I try to stay very well informed as far as what's going on in the community, as far as the opportunities for assistance for the underserved communities. I'm always trying to communicate those things and try to look for ways to serve those communities in ways that aren't just chiropractic. Donations,
Yeah.
providing services for the volunteers, as well as anything else like that. So that's the goal, is to provide a platform for those individuals and a space for them to get the help that they deserve.
Amen. Very Hawaiian Kingish of you.
Yeah.
Very. Well, I just want to say that I'm so very proud of the work that you do and you continue to do. I think one of the best things that you said too is that, you do the work and you still spiral because you are hashtag human. But now that you are more aware and authentically you, I think you pivot out. We pivot out of these spirals a lot faster, and that's key too. And it's so fun to be in an environment with someone who wants to dig deeper, because truly the work is never done. Like, the day that I am done working on myself is the day they put me in the grave, and I'm totally cool with that. And it's fun. It's fun to learn more, and it's been really fun to be on this journey with you to expand and grow. And I think one of the biggest things is just accept and believe and go. And so I'm just so very proud of you.
Yay. Yeah. Thank
Yay.
you.
Thank
Yay.
Yay. Thank you for saying those things. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to link Dr. Alika. If you are in the St. Louis area, Dr. Alika has a podcast out now called It's Gateway Gatherings.
Gateway gatherings. Yep.
Gateway Gatherings. That's what I thought.
I just uploaded episode 8 to Spotify and YouTube podcasts.
Yay. So if you're in the, even if you're not in the St. Louis area, it's still really good information. But I will link his information, because here's the deal. He's a chiropractor in St. Louis, but that's not all he's going to be doing with the rest of his life. So follow along, listen. He is a masterful human being in a lot of different things, and so and has dove really deep into Esther and Abraham Hicks, and so you can probably see some work on that with me and Alika in the future. So you're going to want to be following him. So we will link all of those things in the show notes. We ask that you like, subscribe, and share any episodes, including this one, with those that you like and love. If you have somebody, or you know somebody that is on a personal development journey, or needs to be, or needs support, or needs to be seen, you'll find contact information for us as well inside of the show notes. So please feel free to reach out. There's a free 15-minute combo in there, in the show notes as well. So Alika, I so appreciate you. I love doing life with you and this journey with you. And thank you for making a comeback in season 2.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay, y'all. Well, we'll see you next week on Say More Words.